We're going to jump to this next story. Cancel culture, baby. Dilbert is racist. Popular comic strip is canned by 77 newspapers after artist Scott Adams began incorporating anti-woke plot lines, including black character who identifies as white. It's brilliant. Good job, Scott. I mean, dude's speaking up and using his platform, and they come for him because of it. Now they do say over at the Daily Mail, Gilbert strips featured in newspapers. I don't know what Gilbert is, but Dilbert's been around forever. And so he's got a bunch of these comics. One is a guy and he's like, Dave, I need to boost our company's ESG rating, so I'm promoting you to be our CTO. I know you identify as white, so that won't help our ESG scores, but would it be too much trouble to identify as gay? He says, depends on how hard you want me to sell it. Just wear better shirts. Oh my. This is great. These comics are actually, they're hilarious. So there's one where it's like, I don't know if it's in here. One of the comics is they're introducing a black character. And he's like, I'd like to introduce you, to our new employee who's going to help bring our ESG score up. And then the black guy goes, identify as white. And he's like, you're ruining this. So anyway, look, Scott Adams obviously has been outspoken for a while now, but directly incorporating the stuff more and more into his comics. So what do? They can the comics. But you know what? This says to me, it's just winning. I know there's a lot of people who are like, you're getting canceled from newspapers. You think it's winning? I do, because people like Dilbert. There's going to be a lot of people who are like, yo, where's Dilbert? And I'm willing to bet. And if you're a fan of Dilbert, I'm willing to bet a lot of people are going to look at their newspapers, the ones that are still reading it, and be like, where's Dilbert? Or the websites. Dilbert. And they're going to call up and be like, hey, where's Dilbert? And they're going to be like, oh, we were offended by it, so we took it out. And they're going to be like, well, I like it. Bring it back.
Well, it also matters that you're here giving them more of a platform too, right? Like we talked about the other side. Right. You get canceled off one side, another side brings you up and rises you up. So that's a good, doing the right thing with the platform. But also what makes me scared is how the most powerful companies in the world are the ones that are the wokest right now. That's concerning. When you look at who's pushing all the wokeness on us, it's like Disney, it's like ESPN. It's like, wow, these are like powerful players in media.
Yeah.
It's concerning.
Well, that's because of the ESG score, which he was criticizing, which he got canceled for criticizing. Right. And I think that's more to why he got canceled than any other reason. Just yesterday at the Clinton Global Initiative, Bill Clinton was talking with the heads of BlackRock promoting ESG as somehow some kind of a great accomplishment. It's awesome. It's great. No, it's literally a Ponzi scheme for people to enrich themselves and push ideas that divide and conquer people and make them more dependent on the state. And when you look at these funds, when you look at what they're doing, it's absolutely sinister, because they go to major corporations and say, hey, you're going to promote this idea. You're going to push this agenda. You don't, we're going to cut your funding. We're not going to give you any money. And the corporations listen.
It's also just going to bolster investment into China.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I wonder 100%. How Alphabet's dealing with it, the parent company of YouTube. I haven't talked to anybody there. A parent company of Google, which is a parent company of, I think Alphabet owns YouTube now. I think it's a separate company. It could be Alphabet owns Google, which owns YouTube. But I'd love, if somebody out there at corporate wants to come on the show and talk about it, how you guys are dealing with ESG, I'd love to hear it. Because Alphabet's like one of the most, maybe the most powerful media company on earth right now.
The woke cult, the ESG stuff only operates as long as people don't know about it. Once regular people find out about it, they get mad. That's how you end up with a Republican winning in Virginia. Because people didn't know what was going on in schools. They found out what was going on in schools, and then they were like, okay, I'm voting against this. And it was suburban housewives. They voted against Trump. All of a sudden they see what's going on. They're like, it's worse the other direction. So I think this is why they got to censor. It's why they're so adamant about controlling what you guys post or what other artists post, especially for bands. This is why I'm saying culture is so important. Because people just want to be entertained. They want to have a good time. They want to relax. They don't want to think about work. They don't want to think about hardship. They don't want to think about politics. They don't want to be brought down. Some people do. Some people love doom scrolling. But a lot of people, they're like, again, I'll shout out Blue Ridge Rock Fest because we were there just a couple weeks ago, or like 2 weeks ago. And the people who are there are like, I want to get out. I want to get away.
Right.
And so they go in mass to see Tenacious D,
in the rain.
Slipknot. In the mud,
dude.
It was hot. Sprayed down with fake blood by Guar.
So good.
We had some fun in the mud, brother.
Come on, my shoes, man.
Get wet.
It did me too.
But so then they know that these people up on stage at that moment have a lot of influence, because you can look at a crowd and you can be singing, and then you point the microphone, and everyone in the crowd knows it's their turn to start singing. So you go up on stage and pull a John Lennon and say, "This war in Ukraine is BS and we shouldn't be involved," and people are going to be like, do I cheer for that or like what? I like this band, so I'm in, I guess. That's what they didn't like about John Lennon, and that's why I think TV shows, movies, actors, the arts, they locked that down and made sure everybody was marching in lockstep.
They tried, but John was unstoppable. Man could not be stopped, dude.
Yes,
Remember
he was stopped.
Well, everyone
He's
stopped
very
eventually.
stoppable,
Everyone dies eventually. But John
but
Lennon,
he was young.
He was so famous that the media couldn't stop. Like, they would still go to his apartment with him and Yoko in bed. Like, what was it, the Sleep In for Peace they were doing? Like,
Yeah, when that happens, they get rid of you, it seems.
He was stopped. I mean, I don't know. There's a bunch of wild theories, but I can just say that somewhere or another, like, dude was stopped.
by John Mark Chapman, you mean? Or is that John Mark Chapman? Who the hell is that? Mark David Chapman.
Yeah, there's a lot of
I don't know.
theories.
I don't know. I mean, maybe someone sent Chapman after him. Maybe because he was so
I don't know.
anti-war.
Or Chapman was just crazy.
You start thinking when you dive so deep into the layers of obviously listening to the show, hanging out with you guys, you're getting informed, right? You're learning more. You start questioning everything that you see when you see Lennon's death. When you start putting pieces together of influential people that have passed away and the messages that they were standing for. Anytime someone's uniting people, bringing people together, going anti-war, they don't last very long. And it makes you start really wondering, like, wow, like, am I a conspiracy theorist, or is this just how it is when you get too influential, where you're bigger than the media, you're larger than life, you're spreading this message that's bringing people together, making people love each other.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah.